Today we're going to be taking a hands-free flow. If you have a yoga block or something else sturdy that you like to use, it'd be a great prop to have. I will warn you, just to transition to standing, we will be on our hands momentarily and we will come right out of it. So let's get started in an easy, comfortable seat where we are connecting into our sit bones. I like to gently engage the core. That's just to support the lower back, to make sure we're not arcing. We want to get comfortable relaxing our shoulders away from the ears. In order to do that, you might need just a few shoulder rolls. Then you might sigh out and just sort of settle in. Now is a great time to scan your body, to assess if you might be holding tension anywhere, to check in even though we found our good form, to make sure we're maintaining it. And then just a few moments to connect with the breath. Lengthening out our inhales, expanding our bellies. And then also lengthening our exhales, contracting our cores. Gives us that wonderful stabilization in the middle. But we know our exhale is also our calming breath. Let's start connecting our breath to movement with a little Sufi grind. So that means we're going to inhale, bring our chest over our legs. As we exhale, we are going to arc our spine. It feels almost like a very circular cat and cow. We're inhaling chest over, very cow-like. We're exhaling and arcing a sort of cat-like spine. So you might even sort of reach your chin to get a little stretch in the neck, and we're just connecting breath to movement. Inhaling nice and slow over the legs, exhaling and arcing. So we're going to inhale. We're going to pause here at the top for our exhale. Then we're going to inhale, come the opposite direction. Even things out. It can tell us a lot about our back. So continuing to connect breath to movement. We'll take just a few more of these Sufi grinds. Make sure we're properly warmed up in our lower backs. Inhale the last time so that we end on an exhale, and we can inhale up nice and tall. I want to make sure the back is really warmed up because a lot of what we're doing will be back work. So left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Just a simple seated twist that'll turn and face. So you don't have to put pressure in either of your hands. The left hand is just sort of holding your knee to bring you into space. The right fingertips might be just touching the mat. We're dropping our shoulder away from our ear, looking back behind if it feels good, in the neck, just a big rinse. Allow the inhales to lift your spine up. And the exhales to sort of accentuate this twist. We're contracting our core when we exhale, remember, so it might feel like we're deepening the twist. But of course, we're never forcing or going further than what feels safe for our body. And then we'll inhale, come forward. A little shoulder rinse before we head to the left side. Right hand to the knee, left hand behind. A nice, strong, engaged core to support our backs in this twist, right? Because we're contracting our core to open our back. The inhales are, of course, giving us lift in the spine, and the exhales are allowing us to relax and open up, especially along our backs. And then we'll inhale, come forward. This is where we're going to briefly come to our hands. We're gonna curl our toes under, downward facing dog, and we're not gonna even hold. We're just gonna walk our feet up to our hands, and we'll inhale up, halfway lift. So really stay here, getting a soft knee, making sure your feet are about hip distance apart. Look to lengthen out your spine, engage your core, shoulders away from ears, strong backs. Nice soft knee. Take your hinge into forward fold. You could let your arms hang. You could hold opposite elbows. You could sway side to side. Or you could hang out in stillness. So many options, but just finding space in your back. That's what matters most. The spine gets that wonderful break from gravity. Let's drop our hands, roll up to stand, head coming up last. Our nice strong mountain pose or Tadasana, another opportunity to just roll shoulders back, to find grounded in your feet, light engagement of the core. We'll make sure we're here at the front of our mat. We're gonna inhale, bring our hands up, bring our right knee up. We're going to use a little bit of core strength and a little lift from our pelvic floor in order to do so. And then we're going to step our foot back into warrior one position. I love stepping back into poses. I think you feet sort of naturally find balance. So we want our foot at that 45-degree angle. We are pressing into our whole foot, especially our pinky edge. Our toes are angled towards the front corner. Here in the left, our knees stacked. Our shoulders are soft. Let's even drop our elbows in line with our shoulders. Gently draw shoulder blades together behind and just get a nice little stretch in the chest. You can gently lift up the chin. How does this feel? You can take your left hand to your hip, reach your right hand overhead, get a little psoas stretch going on. How does your calf feel? Do you feel supported? Do you need to play with your angle of your foot at all? We want a calf stretch, but not at the expense of our knee. So let's inhale both of our hands back up. We're gonna turn our back foot open. It might take a little step to warrior two, where pinky edge is just about parallel to the back of the mat, but again, you're adjusting for your body. You're putting the gaze over your front left fingers. Let's flip our left palm. Exhale, reverse our warrior and open up our side body. A little look up to the palm. Let's take a big inhale. Back to warrior two. Put the gaze over our fingers. We're going to switch it up again. We're staying off our hands, but we're doing all sorts of fun rotations in our feet. So pick up your back heel, spin your right toes to face forward. Now you're in a high lunge. We're doing all this great stuff for our hips. Hands come back overhead. Drop elbows in line with shoulders. Again, just a little wake up for the heart. Inhale, hands overhead. Are you ready for the challenge? You could take little hops to bring your right foot, or your right foot in, or you could take one big step, but right back to our standing stair step balance. Engage core, lifting up from pelvic floor. Bonus points, little kick of the foot out, feeling really strong in our lower body. And we'll set everything down. Step our feet out. It's like a little toe to mat. You could roll out your wrists. Just because we're staying off of them doesn't mean we can't get a little movement in them. All right, so inhale, hands up. Right foot does all the work. Left leg lifts up. So you're grounded in your right foot, connected in the heel and ball. We are engaging our core, lifting up from our pelvic floor, bringing our left foot into a stair step, and then bringing it back behind and placing it in that warrior one 45-degree angle position. Knees stacked on top of ankle. We're dropping elbows in line with shoulders. We're waking up our heart. Gently lifting up the chin. Just kind of looking to where our wall meets ceiling. Little stretch in the front. Then we'll take right hand to the hip. Reach left hand overhead. Get that beautiful little psoas opener. We'll inhale, right hand back up. We'll exhale, open up. And you might sort of step your left foot back as you open it up. Pinky edge just about parallel. Knee on top of ankle. Gaze over your front right fingers. Flip your right palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Nice big side body opener. Big inhale. Exhale back to warrior two. We're going to pivot. So we're going to pick up our left heel, spin our left toes forward, sink into our nice high lunge, drop our elbows in line with our shoulders, get another little wake up in our chest. Lifting up the gaze just slightly if it feels good in your throat. Front of the neck. Hands up. Remember, it could be little hops if you're finding your balance, or one big step, but bringing your left leg through, back into our stair step. Finding a nice strong right foot, connected into the mat, but a soft right knee. Then you might kick your foot out. Strong core, strong leg, bend. Exhale through heart center, step it out. Maybe a little tops of the feet. Inhale, sweep hands overhead. Exhale, have a hinge down to your toes. Hang out with a good soft knee. It can be awesome to take your sturdy object, rest your hands, especially if that inspires you or creates enough stability to fully release your spine. Get more comfortable hanging out in the fold. Now, you don't need a block or a sturdy object to do this. You can simply put a very big bend in your left knee and put your left hand in front of your foot. Though some folks like to have the floor just a little higher to them, that's the block. We'll inhale our right hand up. We'll stack our wrist over our shoulder. We'll have a little peek up at our thumb. Big inhale. Exhale down. If you're using something sturdy, it slides over to the right. The right knee has the big bend. The left has at least a hint. We're inhaling, left hand up, stacking wrist over shoulder. A nice big rinse for our spines. Exhale down. Back to forward fold. It might be nice to have something sturdy here because we're going to just soften into our knees until our seat finds the floor. A hands-free transition down. We'll head to our backs for a little supine work. So always taking a moment. We've done a lot for our spines. A lot of twisting, a lot of movement. So take a moment to let your back adjust to the mat. A couple windshield wipers might be nice. Now side to side with the knees. We'll plant our feet. Draw our knees to the chest, give ourselves a little hug and squeeze. It might feel good to make circles on the ceiling with your knees. And go in both directions. Then open up the knees, grab your feet gently for a happy baby. Opening up the inner hips, you might rock out or find stillness. Release feet. Give your knees a hug into your chest and gently set your knees off to the right. A little supine twist. Shoulders stay on the mat. I like to reach my arms to really release my shoulders to the mat. You could face the ceiling. If it feels good in your neck, you could have a look to your left. Totally up to you. Another big spinal rinse. Try and focus on your long released exhales. The core is already engaged, so it might help you sort of deepen your exhales. And we want to do that because we know exhales relax us, and the more we release, the more we deepen our twist. Bring your head to center. Take your legs to center. Give yourself a little hug and squeeze. Maybe a few little rock and rolls out. We'll ease our knees off to the left. Again, you might open up your arms to really release your shoulders to the mat. Face the ceiling or look to the right if it feels nice in your neck. You're, of course, listening to your body. But again, a couple of long exhales. The more physically relaxed we are, the more we deepen the pose. And exhales. Sort of turn on the rest and digest portion of our nervous system. Then we'll take our head through center, our legs through center. We might hug them in, squeeze them, maybe take a few circles with the knees. Give ourselves a great big hug and squeeze. And then we'll exhale down into Savasana. By all means, taking it however you'd like. You could be very traditional, lie out flat. You can always bend your knees, plant your feet if that feels better in your lower back. But just come into a comfortable position where you can scan your body. Release any holds, any subconscious gripping. Inhale very deeply, feel your belly lift. Exhale, let it drop. Deep release. Big inhales. Long released exhales. We know our long exhales tell our bodies and our brains to relax. Our breath gives us a point of focus, which is wonderful for not letting our brains get off track down too many thought rabbit holes. You can stay here, focusing on your breath for as long as you'd like. If you are ready to come off the mat, you might just wiggle out your fingers and your toes. Roll out your wrists and ankles. Maybe take a little reach and stretch before you roll off to one side. And ease your way up to seated. And as always, I will say thank you so much for practicing with me.